Here is an explanation for the answer to final exam, question number 98 in Electronics Demystified, 2nd edition. If you have the printed book, you'll find it on page 439, along with figure exam-16, which I have reproduced here. This figure shows an H-plane or horizontal plane radiation pattern for a particular type of antenna. The station, or the antenna itself, is located right here in the center, and we're looking down, straight down on the situation from far, far above. These ellipses or curves represent the relative radiation intensity that we would expect to see in various directions. So, for example, going straight northeast, we would expect to see maximum radiation from this antenna. The same thing would be true going straight southwest. On the other hand, going straight northwest, this antenna exhibits zero radiation, and the same thing is true going straight southeast. At intermediary directions, we might say, let's say we go straight east, like this. We can draw this red line as reference pointing straight east. An intermediary amount of radiation comes out of this antenna. So that is, in fact, the general radiation pattern for this antenna. What type of antenna of the ones listed, A, B, C, D, or E, can actually exhibit a pattern like this in the horizontal plane? Well, the only one that can is the folded dipole, and that is choice A. The folded dipole, if we orient a folded dipole horizontally so that its ends run from northwest to southeast, we will get a radiation pattern that looks like that. And what does a folded dipole actually look like? This is the functional, or actually it's pretty close to a literal diagram of a folded dipole, a half wavelength long, two parallel wires shorted out at the ends. The whole thing is a half of an electrical wavelength long. It's fed in the center, and it is then an open wire transmission line runs to the radio, or the generally speaking, we'd need to have an antenna tuner for a antenna like this if we wanted to use it with ham radio equipment generally, because this will have about a 300 ohm purely resistive impedance here. If we run 300 ohm transmission line here, we would need a 6-to-1 impedance transformation to get the 50 ohm pure resistance that the radio would want. But if this antenna is horizontal and it runs from northwest to southeast, so this might be the northwest end here, this might be the southeast end, the maximum radiation, if we're looking at this antenna from the side, would come right at us and right away, directly away from us. So that is the type of pattern characteristic of a folded dipole antenna. So once again, the correct answer to this question is choice A.